Hi guys, tonight let's begin a gentle journey through time, back to when the universe was just a soft breath in the dark, a silent, ever-expanding sea of hydrogen and possibility. Before stars, before color, before even light itself, space was stretching like a sleeping dream, filled with quiet ripples and slow gravity. No suns burned, no galaxies swirled, only drifting atoms and the invisible rhythm of time unfolding. This wasn't emptiness, but a rich silence where everything we now know was curled in waiting. For hundreds of millions of years after the Big Bang, the universe rested in these cosmic dark ages, slowly cooling, spreading, and preparing. Gravity, quiet and patient, began to gather those lonely hydrogen atoms into clouds, gently collapsing, shaping the first seeds of stars. There was no color, no sound, but there was motion, a cosmic lullaby written in darkness. And then, at last, after eons of preparation, the silence broke. A star ignited, the first star, bursting into existence like a blue-white beacon in the endless black. It was massive, ancient, and unlike anything we know today, and with its fiery breath, the darkness was pierced. One by one, more stars awakened across the cosmos, like distant campfires in a cold night, marking the beginning of the cosmic dawn. These were no ordinary stars, they burned fast and bright, living short, glorious lives. And in their cores, something miraculous happened, the forging of elements, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, the building blocks of life, created in the hearts of dying giants. Their deaths were even more spectacular, exploding in supernovae, scattering stardust across space, leaving behind the heavy metals that would shape planets, bodies, and breath. Their light transformed everything, ionizing the early fog, allowing the universe to become transparent, visible, radiant for the first time. So when you look up at the stars tonight, know that you are seeing echoes of those first lights, born in darkness, forged in fire, and scattered across time to become everything. This is not just astronomy, it's our origin story, written not in ink, but in light. From the soft glow of the first stars came more than just light, they revealed structure where once there had only been invisible ripples, painting the dark canvas of space with the earliest galaxies, swirling slowly into form. These stars weren't just points of brilliance, they were seeds of transformation, their death scattering heavy elements, carbon, oxygen, iron, into the cosmic winds, laying the foundation for everything that would follow. In their brief, furious lives, they lit up a universe still mostly empty, forging the building blocks of planets, oceans, breath, and blood in furnaces of unimaginable heat. And though they shone alone in the early void, their light began to connect the vast stretches of space, and their supernovae enriched the cosmos, setting the stage for second-generation stars, gentler, longer-lived, and capable of anchoring solar systems like our own. What had once been only hydrogen and helium was now a universe thick with possibility. Slowly, across light years, gravity pulled the ashes of those ancient titans back into motion, not in chaos, but in patient, whispered artistry. Dust gathered into clouds, clouds curled into forms, forms warmed into the cradles of new creation. Gravity, quiet and relentless, began to sculpt the silence, folding, condensing, shaping patterns from the remnants of fire. And so, in the aftermath of stellar death, the cosmos began to dream again, not just of light, but of order, of form, of futures not yet written. The stars may have vanished, their brilliance long faded, but what they left behind still stirs in every atom, every breath, every gaze lifted to the night sky. They were the first to shine, and from their endings, everything began. From the ashes of ancient stars, swirling clouds of gas and dust gathered once more, forming the delicate blueprints of galaxies, graceful spirals unfurling like frost on glass, their stars reborn, smaller, gentler, and enriched by the memory of everything that had come before. These weren't just new lights, they were vessels of history, burning with elements forged in the fires of the dead. Around them, gravity worked in silence, sculpting rings, disks, and rocky fragments, the earliest whispers of planets. There were no eyes to see these newborn worlds, no names to call them, but they formed nonetheless, patiently assembling from the wreckage of past brilliance. The universe was repeating itself, but never the same way twice, turning death into design, collapse into creation. With each star, new systems bloomed, planets spinning in quiet orbits, moons drifting nearby, rings forming from shattered remnants. Galaxies began to flower, spirals, ellipses, scattered swarms, all glowing softly as the cosmos slowly learned to organize its chaos. And though life had not yet arrived, the pieces were falling into place, molecules binding, elements mingling, the raw chemistry of future oceans and skies taking shape. The silence of space remained unbroken, but within it was a silent poetry, patterns folding into patterns, lanterns of light threading across the dark. And within those patterns lay water, air, iron, bone, breath, the quiet foundations of life. Every atom in us today once danced in this dust. We are not outside this story, we are the story, built from the same stars we now gaze upon. In every heartbeat is a memory of the universe, of its long, slow turning from darkness into brilliance, from silence into wonder. And perhaps the most comforting truth is this: from fire and ruin came order and beauty. From what was scattered, gravity drew harmony. And in that quiet, unhurried unfolding, the universe gave rise not just to stars and planets, but to eyes that could finally look back and understand, and so, the story moved forward, quiet, steady, inevitable. Gravity, the universe's silent architect, continued its patient pull, gathering stardust into swirling clumps that, over time, became the seeds of galaxies. From the ashes of ancient stars, new formations began to emerge, not with sudden bursts, but like frost curling across a windowpane, soft and silent, patterns forming in the dark. These first galaxies were not the majestic spirals we now admire, but small, uneven gatherings, loose knots of stars and gas, guided by the unseen web of dark matter stretched across the cosmos. Space, though seemingly empty, held structure, a hidden framework left behind by the Big Bang, threading galaxies along vast, invisible filaments. These galactic seedlings collided and merged, not in chaos, but in transformation, exchanging energy, birthing new stars, growing stronger through every encounter. Spirals began to spin outward, elliptical shapes softened with age, and wild, asymmetrical forms resisted order altogether. Each galaxy became a unique tale of fire, dust, gravity, and time. They didn't grow alone, they gathered in families, in clusters that danced across space, bound by shared gravity and quiet magnetism. In these neighborhoods, thousands of galaxies found rhythm, while between them lay silent voids, dark spaces that only deepened the contrast of the growing light. From a distance, the cosmos seemed to awaken, not with noise, but with grace. A single point had become an ocean of stars. First came sparks, then structure. First light, then form. The universe was still young, still unfolding, but already, it was painting its story in curves and swirls, its strokes guided by gravity, its colors born from fire, and its meaning carried forward by the endless motion of creation. Over time, the galaxies that once spun silently in the dark began to cradle the beginnings of home. Within their glowing arms, solar systems took shape, some rocky, some gaseous, orbiting young stars in elegant silence. Around a few, in that rare and precious zone where heat and distance balanced perfectly, planets began to form where oceans could one day shimmer and skies could hold breath. Still lifeless, still waiting, but not forever. These galaxies weren't just collections of stars and dust, they held time, memory, and the dormant seeds of every future moment, of eyes that would open, of thoughts that would wonder. Yet they moved without rush, spiraling slowly like dancers in a waltz no one could hear, choreographed by gravity's invisible hand. To watch them was to witness patience beyond imagination, a structure taking shape atom by atom, moment by moment, across eons. And when we look into the night sky today, we see the ghosts of those galaxies, ancient light still on its way to us, carrying not just brightness, but story. Gravity, still whispering across the universe, continues to sculpt its masterpiece in silence. Clouds of gas don't collapse blindly, they turn, they spin, guided by subtle motions left over from the earliest tremors of the cosmos. A tiny imbalance becomes a grand rotation, Just as an ice skater spins faster when they pull in their arms, the conservation of momentum, shaping galaxies from soft, swirling beginnings. Slowly, these spinning clouds flatten into vast disks, birthing spiral galaxies with curling arms and brilliant cores, cosmic pinwheels bound by gravity and motion. Stars orbit in harmony, like dancers on a glowing carousel, drawn together by a rhythm deeper than sound. Not all galaxies are spirals, some are round, soft, glowing ovals of old stars. Others are wild and irregular, refusing symmetry altogether. But each, in its own way, is a memory of motion, a shape born from the laws of nature unfolding in quiet grace. The universe continues to turn, to breathe, to form. And in its spinning, we find the beginnings not just of stars or planets, but of the long story that leads to us. Some galaxies drift in stillness, not spinning like grand spirals, but glowing gently as elliptical forms, ancient and settled, their stars moving in chaotic orbits with no clear direction, remnants of collisions long past. These galaxies are aged, quiet, with little gas left to spark new light. They do not shine with the energy of youth but glow like memory, soft, steady, and full of stories etched in starlight. And then, there are the strange ones, twisted, stretched, broken-looking galaxies, shaped by gravitational tugs and past impacts, scattered like smudges across the canvas of space. These irregular forms, rings, commas, smears, are reminders that even in a universe governed by laws, beauty can take wild, unexpected forms. Yet even the chaos follows rules. Every warped galaxy, every asymmetrical glow, is still stitched together by gravity's unseen thread. Galaxies are not frozen images but living systems, orbiting, colliding, merging, evolving. The Milky Way itself is a spiral in motion, carrying us around its core every 225 million years, not as a perfect disk but as a warped, streaming swirl. And even it is not finished. It is on a slow, inevitable course toward the Andromeda Galaxy, and in billions of years, they will collide, not in fiery crash, but in a graceful, ghostly pass-through, where gravity weaves them into one. Shapes will shift, stars will realign, and from that cosmic ballet, something new will emerge. So when we ask why galaxies spin, or why they twist and warp, we are really asking how the universe writes, how it carves stories from motion, sculpts light into structure. Every galaxy is a frozen moment in an eternal dance, graceful or chaotic, spiral or elliptical, perfect or wild, shaped by time, gravity, and the quiet pressure of dark matter behind it all. For in the silence between stars, an invisible hand guides everything, dark matter, unseen and untouchable, yet shaping galaxies like a ghostly scaffolding. And so, across the cold black, the universe spins on, not for us, but because that is its nature, patient, rhythmic, and quietly, endlessly beautiful. It does not shine or burn. It casts no shadow, reflects no light, and yet it is everywhere, shaping, holding, guiding. Dark matter, the silent architect of the cosmos, the invisible thread upon which the stars are strung. We cannot see it, touch it, or bottle it, yet without it, galaxies would unravel, their graceful spirals flung apart like smoke in the wind. It does nothing, and everything. Though it leaves no trace, it holds the universe in place. 10 times more present than the light we see, dark matter embraces galaxies in a gravity we cannot see but can feel in every orbit, every curve, every improbable motion. It is the reason the stars at the edge of a galaxy move too fast, the reason light bends in impossible ways, the reason the universe feels so elegantly stitched together. We have never seen a particle of it, only its fingerprints, left in warped starlight and the motion of massive clusters. It is not made of atoms. It is something older, quieter, a ghost walking through the cosmos, moving furniture without leaving footprints. Before the stars, before the clouds of gas, dark matter was already spinning its filaments, gossamer threads spanning billions of light years, shaping gravity wells, blueprinting where galaxies would bloom. We owe our structure, our homes, our very existence to this silent web. While we marvel at the tapestry, the glowing stars, the swirling galaxies, it is dark matter that holds the frame. Perhaps it is particles. Perhaps something stranger, a field, a force, an echo from before time as we know it. We do not yet understand. But its mystery does not make it less real, it makes it more sacred. It reminds us that the greatest powers are not always seen, that silence can be stronger than thunder, and that the universe has roots in shadows. Float in space, and though you cannot see it, you might feel it, like deep tides beneath the sea, a pull in all directions, a quiet structure not of light, but of influence. The stars are the story, but dark matter is the page. This is how the universe feels the presence of dark matter, not by sight, but by motion, by balance, by the quiet architecture that shapes everything without ever revealing itself. It leaves no mark and casts no light, yet it sculpts the galaxies, braces the stars, and holds the cosmos steady in its invisible arms. Perhaps in some distant century, we will find its name, isolate its particles, decode the fields that carry its weight. But even then, the poetry will remain, that the most essential structure in the universe could stay hidden for so long, shaping reality with no need for recognition. The greatest architect is the one who works in silence, who builds without monument, who shapes without signature, who leaves behind only symmetry, only grace. And tonight, as you lie under your sky, as your eyes trace constellations and your breath slows with sleep, know that every star you see rests gently within that hidden lattice. Behind the visible world is another, unseen and ancient, whose web still holds. It is the quiet foundation beneath your every breath, your every thought. And yet even in that stillness, something stirs, light. Starlight, the slow, faithful traveler of the cosmos. It begins in a spark, a burst of fusion in a star's core, the collapse of a supernova, the warm dust of a forming galaxy, and then sets off across space, never turning back. It moves faster than anything else we know, yet it must cross distances so vast that it becomes a measure of time itself. The light you see tonight may have begun its journey before Earth existed, before the sun was born, before memory had meaning. It has slipped past comets, brushed moons, and bent gently through the influence of dark matter, and now, it falls into your eye, softly, as if it had been meant for you all along. That glimmer is not just illumination, it is history, wrapped in wavelength, telling you how far it has come. Astronomers call it redshift, the cosmic stretching of light as the universe expands, like a whisper drawn out through time. And within each photon is a message, a story of a galaxy long gone, a star that may no longer shine. Light is fragile, it can be scattered, lost to dust or swallowed by gravity, but some of it survives. Some of it endures. A beam that began its journey before oceans formed may now arrive quietly on your skin. And though the star that made it may be gone, its light still lives, proof that nothing truly beautiful ever disappears. In the great silence of space, light does not fade. It waits, it travels, it tells. And in every flicker, the universe remembers itself. That's the magic of the cosmos. It holds on to its stories and keeps them moving forward. The past is not lost, it is still arriving. When astronomers say we are looking back in time, it is not just a phrase. It is literal. The farther we peer into space, the deeper we look into history. Telescopes like Hubble and James Webb are not just machines of sight, they are time machines, capturing light that left its source billions of years ago. We have seen galaxies as they were only a few 100 million years after the Big Bang, newborn spirals and forming clusters still wrapped in cosmic fog. Their light has traveled across an expanding universe to arrive now, in this moment, to be caught by mirrors and glass and eyes. The stars in those galaxies may no longer exist. Their systems may have changed, merged, scattered. But their light lives on. And that means the sky above us is not a map of now, it is a woven memory, a living archive of time itself. Each pinprick of starlight is a record, not just of distance but of age, like a fossil preserved in photons. When that light touches your skin, it completes a journey that predates mountains, oceans, civilizations. It falls without sound or urgency, the softest traveler of all, and in that quiet arrival is the wonder, that you are not just seeing stars, but the long-forgotten past arriving softly to meet you. This changes nothing and everything. The stars are still stars. The night is still the night. But now you understand that every gaze upward is an act of remembering. That we are not just observers of the present, but readers of light's long memory. And still, the light keeps coming, from stars unborn, from galaxies just beginning, from events unfolding in regions of the universe where no one has yet looked. Some of this light will take 1 billion years to reach anyone. We will be gone. But someone, another mind, another world, another age, may look up and receive the photons we are casting now. They will see our sky as it was. Our sun. Our Earth's shimmer. Perhaps even our presence, faint but undeniable. And in that moment, we will become memory for someone else, as those distant galaxies are for us. Nothing is truly lost. Every spark echoes forward. Light remembers. Even now, it sings across the dark, soft, spectral songs written not in words but in wavelength. Stars do not speak with mouths, but they do speak, in rainbows and shadows. Their light, when broken into spectra, becomes a message. A code. A language of dark lines and bright colors, where each gap reveals an element: hydrogen, helium, iron, oxygen. Every star plays its own chord, and astronomers have learned to read these silent songs. They hear the age of a star in its heat, its motion in its shift, its composition in its color. The universe reveals itself through this rainbow code, through absorption lines and redshifts and subtle glimmers that tell us everything without saying a word. The further away a galaxy is, the redder its light, stretched like a fading note, and in that red lies time. Speed. Distance. Fate. The galaxies are drifting from us, singing their departure in stretched spectra. But their songs are not sorrowful, they are lullabies of the cosmos, reminders of expansion, of movement, of eternity. Even planets speak this way. In their atmospheres, in the whisper of water vapor or methane hidden in the glare of their stars, we may someday hear the most profound lullaby of all, not a sound, but a spectrum that says, simply, we are not alone. The universe does not raise its voice. It does not insist on being known. But it is generous. It offers itself, in light, in silence, in time. And if you are willing to look, to listen, to wonder, you will understand the message: I am made of stars. And so are you. Every breath, every cell, every dream, born from fusion and fire, shaped by time, traveling still. So the next time you gaze into the night, remember, what you see is not just distance, but depth. Not just stars, but songs. Not just light, but memory made visible. In the vast stillness of space, where giants roam in silence, there drift the quiet ones, the dwarf galaxies, small and soft, like forgotten fireflies in a cosmic field. They don't shine bright or spin wide, they simply move, slowly, faithfully, orbiting the great spirals like children following their mother's path. Some are puffed like breath on cold glass, others stretched and torn by time and touch, stars spilling gently into space like loose threads from an old tapestry. They are not grand, but they are old, older than memory, older than form, and inside them sleep the whispers of the universe's first dreams. Our Milky Way cradles many of them, quiet companions, drifting like petals in its gravity. And when these little galaxies come closer, something stirs. Their gas begins to tremble, stars are born from pressure and patience, and light rises from silence. They do not fight, they offer. They bring gifts of new stars, soft flares of life blooming from surrender. Even as they dissolve, they give beauty, streams of light, arcs of flame, newborn clusters rising where none were before. They fall not to end, but to begin again inside something larger, something waiting. Far beyond, Andromeda watches, already drawing near, and one day, it too will fold into the Milky Way, and in that embrace, even the smallest galaxies will leave their mark, not through impact, but through the quiet offering of their stars. In this cosmos, even the tiniest travelers hold the power to awaken light. Bright, hot stars bloom softly along the curling arms of galaxies, blue and white fires flaring in quiet offering, the final breath of a fading identity. The last light before a name dissolves into something greater. Tiny galaxies, drawn into giants, do not vanish with fury, but with grace, their stars slipping gently into the deeper current, their shapes forgotten but their motion remembered, ribbons of starlight whispering of the place they came from. Our Milky Way holds these remnants close, trails of old companions still circling like ghosts, their stories folded into our own. Some of them were once invisible, faint as breath, flickering like hidden fireflies in the fog of the galactic halo, and yet there they are, rich in darkness, waiting for touch, for motion, for the soft press that will ignite their stars. These little wanderers, small in size but ancient in soul, carry the same elements, the same hopes, the same possibility of breath and sky and dream. And though they drift quietly, their presence changes everything, because galaxies do not grow alone. They grow through these encounters. The giants offer weight, the dwarfs bring change, and in their meeting, new paths open. We are made not just of stars, but of the gifts of smaller galaxies, dust once scattered in lonely spirals, now folded into our arms. Even our own world may carry the ash of forgotten clouds, the starlight of ancient visitors now lost in our orbit. And so, as we lie beneath this wide and glowing sky, let us remember not only the vast spirals and blazing cores, but the tiny companions, those quiet travelers who merged and became more. For in the hush of space, even the smallest lights matter. We live within one of those lights, the Milky Way, a spiral stretched across 100,000 light-years, drifting slowly, glowing faintly, holding us in its soft arms. We float within it, not at the center, not at the edge, but in a quiet lane of light and dust, turning gently through time. We cannot see its full shape, we are inside it, wrapped in its folds, and so we look up and see only a ribbon, a silver mist stretched across the sky, a memory of stars blurred together in motion. Every breath we take happens here. Every thought, every love, every goodbye. This galaxy is our cradle, our journey, our song. Its stars surround us like whispers. Its heart pulses with silence. And somewhere deep within, a black hole sits calmly, shaping the orbits of suns that will never see us. Around us, new stars are still being born, still lighting up in cold clouds that ripple like ink through water. We orbit its core every 225 million years, a quiet rhythm we will never feel, one full galactic year since the age of dinosaurs. And one day, far ahead, the Milky Way will meet Andromeda, not with chaos, but with grace. The galaxies will merge, their arms entwining, their stars passing like dancers in a slow, silent waltz. A new galaxy will be born, shaped not by destruction, but by longing, by approach, by time. Even now, we carry the scars of past unions, trails of stars stretched thin by gravity, reminders of those who joined us long ago. They are not gone. They move with us. They shine in us. And so, tonight, when you lie beneath the stars and feel small, remember, you are not outside this spiral, you are inside it, drifting softly, a spark among many, held in the arms of something vast, something old, something still unfolding. Let the stars cradle you, let the galaxy whisper around you, soft as a lullaby made of stars. Think of the 200 billion lights drifting with you, each holding its own story, each perhaps with life dreaming beneath unfamiliar skies. You are not alone in this spiral, you are part of its quiet song. And far above, a dance has already begun. The Milky Way and Andromeda, two great galaxies, are moving toward each other in silence. Not in a rush, but with grace, drawn together by gravity's slow pull. One day, long after we're gone, they will meet, not in collision, but in a cosmic embrace. Their stars will pass through each other like mist, their shapes twisting gently, birthing new stars in the hush of contact. Over time, they will become one, a softer galaxy, glowing in stillness. And though Earth may be gone, its dust may drift within that union, a tiny thread in the tapestry of the future sky. Even now, Andromeda grows larger in our night, blooming slowly. The dance has begun. And we are part of it. Galaxies come in many shapes, spirals that still sing with starbirth, ellipticals that glow with age, irregulars that drift free of form. But none of them are mistakes. Each one is a memory of time unfolding, of motion made visible, of the universe dreaming in starlight. So tonight, as you lie beneath this gentle sky, know this: the stars above you are not still. They are moving, merging, becoming. And in their quiet rhythm, you are never alone. Galaxies wear many shapes, spirals spinning with youth, ellipticals glowing with age, irregulars drifting like forgotten brushstrokes, but none are mistakes. Each is a phase in a long cosmic breath, a moment in the universe's quiet unfolding. Even in their asymmetry, galaxies speak of change, not disorder. A spiral may become an ellipse, a formless cloud may find rhythm, nothing stands still. These shapes are not frozen, they are evolving stories, their lines written in motion, not ink. And deep within them, hidden beyond light, sleeps something darker, a black hole, not violent, but calm, a steady heart holding it all together. At the center of our Milky Way lies one too, Sagittarius A*, quiet, massive, invisible, anchoring the spiral arms like a breath held in the chest of the stars. Sometimes it stirs, when gas falls in and glows, but even then, it does not shout. It simply allows brilliance to bloom around it. Galaxies need this center, not to shine, but to spin. In the hush of space, balance is born not only in light, but in shadow. And so, when you look up at the stars, remember what lies beneath their dance: a stillness, a weight, a quiet gravity shaping every shimmer in the sky. The universe dreams in curves and silence, and in those shapes, whether smooth or strange, we see not just what is, but what was, and what will one day become. Even now, the galaxies drift, glowing islands in a sea that never ends, spinning softly as the universe exhales around them. Some brighten, fed by starbirth and mergers, others fade, their fire dimmed, their voices quieter. The space between stretches like a breath held longer with each moment, until the light itself thins, redder, slower, silent. And in that stillness, there is no sorrow, only the hush of age. The night sky grows wider. The stories move farther apart. The stars that remain will burn for eons, yes, but their chorus softens, their reach narrows. We are not leaving the universe. We are floating with it, carried by the current of expansion, not toward an end, but into a becoming. A relaxation of creation. A hush after a long, bright song. Galaxies will one day light skies no one sees. Their neighbors gone, their light unshared. But they will still turn. Still shine. Still remember. And so will we, stardust in motion, wrapped in a spiral, drifting slowly into the open dark. So tonight, as your eyes close, let yourself go with the drift. Let the stars cradle you. Let the silence sing. You are part of this movement, of this breath, of this quiet, a flicker inside a great unfolding, gently glowing, endlessly drifting, into the soft arms of the forever night.